Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 2 of Marvel Studios' Secret Invasions. I'm your host, Anthony Salic. So, before we get on to this review episode, be sure to give this a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. So, last week, Secret Invasions dropped the first episode. So now we're back for episode number 2. And pretty interesting developments that we made so far. So we pick up right where we left off with actually a little bit of a prologue. So the episode starts off with a flashback to Captain Marvel, which takes place in 1995, I believe that was the year. Flash forward 2 years, and we see Fury with a couple of Skrulls. And essentially, Fury makes a deal with the Skrulls in which it is you help. Fury tells the Skrulls that as long as they are willing to help Earth, him and Captain Marvel will help try to find them a new home because their previous home was destroyed during the events of Captain Marvel. So now we're trying to see what the relationship started off like, and basically one of the reasons why the Skrulls have pretty much been on a bad mood, and especially committing mass acts of terror, is because they're trying to claim their home, or they're trying to claim Earth as their home. And that Fury essentially didn't keep his end of the bargain, so now they have to take matters into their own hands. And we actually found out through Talos in this episode that there are over 1,000,000 Skrulls that are now in Earth, because the amount of Skrulls that left Skrullos was around 1,000,000. Talos confirms. And he tells Fury, there's pretty much 1,000,000 Skrulls that are living amongst Earth right now, and they could be literally any single one. I mean, like, the Earth consists of 8 billion people, but 1,000,000 Skrulls, even though it's a small number compared to 8 billion, it's still an extremely high number. I don't know what that compares to, but that's probably like maybe the size of a stadium or something like that, just like living amongst us around the world. So it's pretty wild. So we then fast forward a little bit, and we end up pretty much learning more about the sides of the Skrulls. Basically, there's two sides. It's kind of like a Skrull civil war, and we end up moving back with Garrick, or Garvik, I think that's what his name is. And he's pretty much in a council of people who have power across different countries. So, like the United States, the UK, Russia was another one of them, and they pretty much all assigned Garvik to be the commanding general for the Skrull invasion. So the Skrulls are coming to make war with the world, and Garvik is going to be the main guy in charge. And we see a little bit of that power being shown later on in the episode. We end up catching up more with Nick Fury. He arrives back to the UK, and he's confronted by Maria Hill's death. Now, I've been seeing a couple of things on Twitter and on Instagram that supposedly Maria Hill is permanently dead, like moving forward from the MCU. So, like, she is not coming back whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure by the confirmation of you know, Maria Hill and her dead body and her mother actually being there during the funeral, kind of tells me that, yeah, she is most likely dead. Now, they could pull some kind of trick to where she isn't dead, or maybe it's like a decoy or something like that, but I'm willing to bet that, yeah, she's most likely dead. And it sucks because, you know, Maria Hill's been such a fan favorite character, and the fan reaction was just kind of insane that they would be willing to kill off someone like that, especially in the first episode. So after the funeral, Fury's essentially just trying to find himself allies, because what's essentially been happening is that the Russians are now pinning the terror attack that happened in episode 1 on the Americans, and because the Skrulls are able to shapeshift, they're trying to leave evidence that is proving that the US did it. So, like, shapeshifting into other people. For example, one of the people who was caught during the terror attack was actually an American. So now they're trying to like pin it on the Americans, even though it's a scroll in disguise. And it's pretty wild. Like I never thought they would go like this political with it. It's really it's not bad. I mean, I really have been enjoying it, but like I'm so surprised how like they're talking about all this stuff between um like political agendas and people with power, especially countries like Russia, the US, and the UK, which is like when you look at like real life, it's like this could happen, except without the alien parts, without the shapeshifters. But it's pretty insane how political they are going, and I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely something that we haven't seen in Marvel since, like, I don't know, Falcon and Winter Soldier probably. But even then, before that, probably like Winter Soldier would probably be the best example. But it's really, really good. So fast forward a bit, and we move on to Fury meeting with Cody Rhodes, or Cody Rhodes. Fuck, uh, fuck. What's his name? Colonel James Rhodes. I call him Cody Rhodes, not like the wrestler. And they pretty much have this argument in which Rhodes is there in order to fire Fury, essentially firing him from his job. But Fury is pretty much warning Rhodes that there is an invasion coming and that he shouldn't trust anybody, like not even his security team, because any one of these people can be Skrulls. And now there's a theory that's been going around saying that Rhodes is going to be revealed to be a Skrull. And so far, I do kind of believe with it. I've seen a couple of theory people like like new rock stars and heavy spoilers talk about it. But basically, because Rhodes isn't a superpower human, and because he is just a man with an armored suit, he's most likely able to sort of sneak his way around being a Skrull. And so, if Rhodes is going to be revealed to a Skrull, honestly, wouldn't it be very surprising? I mean, it would be shocking, but considering especially the way that they had their interactions between Fury and Rhodes in this episode, it kind of lends me to believe that he's going to be a Skrull. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's 4 episodes left, so if anything, it might be saved for like a season finale type of thing for episode 6. But based off of the interactions that they had, I'm kind of leaning to suspect that Rhodes is going to be revealed to be a Skrull, just because he's one of the few superheroes that I think could make it work for him being a Skrull. Because you're not going to have like Bruce Banner or Spider-Man or Shuri or whoever be a Skrull. Like, they're not going to make that happen. It just seems very likely that they'll go with like somebody like Rhodes who fits that criteria, and who will at least be able to reveal something like that and get a good shock for people. So we end the episode off with 2 things. We ended up with Gravik, who is now on a mission to rescue one of the Skrulls who was captured, the American, or the Skrull who was posing as the American. And I gotta be real, I did not think that they were gonna go this freaking gory with it. I mean, there's a part where Olivia's character, I forgot her name. I forgot the actress name, but it's the interrogator, and she literally cuts the finger off of the Skrull, off of the guy, and they actually show it. Like, this whole episode. I mean, it's some pretty gory stuff here. Like, I mean, if this was a movie, it'd most likely be rated R, but like they cut off fingers. You see people getting shot, and you actually see like blood splatter everywhere. Like, there's some pretty mature stuff, and it is definitely a mature show. I mean, it's really, really sort of in that rated R territory, or at least for TV, it would probably be TVMA. I don't know what this episode was rated, but in terms of like, how serious they are. I mean, they're cutting fingers, they're, interrogating, they're torturing people, they're shooting people. So we end up finding out that the guy who got captured, he ends up revealing information, and Gravik ends up finding this out. So while they do escape the facility, the guy who spilled the information ultimately ends up dying, which just goes to show that Gravik, although he is fighting for the scrolls. He isn't willing to let every scroll pass, regardless of who they are. If you could be a snitch and you could still die while being a scroll. It's insane. So again, their whole thing, Gravik's whole thing, is that he's trying to cause a war between the human race so that afterwards the scrolls can conquer it and claim it as their own. So really interesting plot, really interesting villain. Gravik is a pretty cool villain so far. Definitely better than some of the other Marvel villains that we have seen, and I hope that they keep it up with his character development. And finally, we end the episode off. Nick Fury returns home, and we see right before he arrives a scroll cooking or cooking some food, more specifically cutting some vegetables. Fury walks in, and we see we see him interact with the person who is revealed to be his wife. Now I don't know Nick Fury's wife in the comics. I don't know the name of the actress. I don't know. I'll learn it. I'll learn it. I'm not good with names, people. But it's his wife, and his wife tells him, "You think you're forgetting something?" Nick Fury goes back. He puts on the ring, and then he kisses his wife, who is a Skrull. So this is one of the most, like, not shocking, but it's very interesting. I mean, is Nick Fury's wife a Skrull? Like, is his actual wife a Skrull? Or is his wife been replaced by a Skrull, and does Fury know this? Like, is he gonna know this, or does he know it, or does he have no problem with it? And it's an interesting thing. And I've seen some people on Twitter talk about it. My theory, I think that he doesn't know that his wife is a Skrull, and most likely she's been replaced at some point while Fury was gone, either with Saber or, during the blip. At one point, she was replaced by a Skrull. And I mean, it's interesting to think that humans and Skrulls can actually have relationships. So with that said, guys, I think I'm going to bring this episode to a close. Very interesting episode overall. Really enjoyed it. I know I don't sound excited, but I tell you, like, when I'm watching these episodes, I'm having a great time. They're really, really fun. I know I sound like I'm very bored right now or very bland, but I kid you not when I tell you I'm having a wonderful time watching the show. It's very good. It's off to a strong start. The first episode had the hook, and the second episode has a great continuation to that hook. You continue. You set up the stakes. You set up the motives. You set up sort of the characters that we're going to be dealing with for the rest of the episodes, and it really is good. And I'm willing to bet that next week is going to be even better. Overall, episode-wise, I'll probably give this like an 8.5. I think I gave that to the first episode, but it was really, really well done. And I really am proud of what they're doing with this. This is definitely, in terms of like mature and like, gore, and in terms of like episode overall, it's a very great episode. I'm really proud of what Marvel Studios has been doing. Many people might not be watching it, but I highly do encourage anybody who is listening to this, go watch it. It's really, really fun. I think that there is going to be a much bigger stake when we get to the final 2 episodes, but we're going to have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, that would do for my episode review of Secret Invasion. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Anthony Salic, and I will see you all next time. Peace.